Guys, this is Bantamweight Pro Box Respect TKO. I'm in Santa Monica, California with the former WBC Bantamweight champion and former silver medal Olympian, Wayne McCullough. Wayne, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Did you say we're in Santa Monica? It's overcast outside today, but back home the freezing is probably 65 degrees here.
Exactly. So,
T-shirt on.
Guys, just to rub it in, we're sitting in the sun.
I'm not rubbing it in.
No, we both are. Listen, I love the sun just as much. So, Wayne, just to start off, obviously you're based here now in Santa Monica and Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay, so your last fight being back in 2008, so what's been going on?
I'm training people, mostly doing one-on-one training with some celebrities and regular people. I train a few amateur fighters, and I've got one pro fighter, so my goal is to train like a professional fighter, of course, but just trying to get in that industry is tough. I've did it since 2006 with Alex Arthur and a guy called Alberto Andretti. So I've did it before and I've been taught the best from Eddie Fudge. So hopefully someday I'll get that one. Maybe a heavyweight walks through the door.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Stretch, and then that'd be awesome.
You need to. Well, as you know, back home in the United Kingdom, heavyweight scene is bubbling, isn't it? With the names and especially with the addition of Tyson Fury coming back as well. Out of that, actually, I mean, obviously we've got to recognise and respect that Anthony Joshua is the unified world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, Joshua's a man. He's the man.
He's the man, isn't he?
Yeah. And my buddy Rich, Robert McCracken trains him, so I'm glad he's doing that. And I'd like to see Joshua and Dante Wilder get it on this year.
Yeah.
It'll probably not happen till maybe the end of the year.
Do you think it's a realistic fight for 2018?
Oh yeah. Well, you got all the belts except for the Australian guy, of course, but New Zealand guy, but these guys are the two main guys in the division.
Yeah,
they're both punchers. The record shows that, and I think that fight it'll probably be in England, but I think it could be a Vegas fight. I think Joshua and Wilder in Vegas would be massive. It would be good for the whole country, pay-per-view wise, be a big attraction around the world.
Yeah,
and I think the winner would be a big superstar.
Isn't it weird that Wilder's not really widely known in the United States, yet Joshua could almost lift his profile in the United States in Vegas.
Yeah,
for that fight.
So, Wilder, he won the Olympic bronze medal, but didn't become a star.
Yeah,
and it was weird but then I think there's so many TV channels nowadays. Back in the day when you were on, like BBC or whatever back home, like one or like 3 or 4 channels, you became a star. And I just think with that fight, with Mayweather fighting all his fights in Vegas, of course, he became a big megastar around the globe.
Yeah.
And with Wilder and Joshua, a big fight in Las Vegas would be the big drawing point for them guys. Yeah. I know the fight back home would be 100,000 people at the stadium, but there's nothing like a big fight in Vegas.
There's not, and it just depends on what they want, because obviously, many people close to Josh have said to me he's not driven by money. But obviously, clearly, he's making some very, very decent money back home. So whether he feels like he's got to come out to Vegas or not, it's another thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think over here they can make that, the pay-per-view, they can make that 40-50 million mark. Yeah, they're not making back home, so it can be done. And it should happen here, but it probably won't.
Wayne, with going back to your early days, what was your first introduction to boxing? How old were you, mate, when you got into boxing?
I was 7 years old when I started going to the gym, local gym, in my neighbourhood. All my friends, I grew up with, caught up in the troubles back home. And my good friends to this day, but I caught up in organisations, the different political organisations over there, and I kept going to the gym, and I always thought there was something better. I love where I came from. I'm proud of where I came from. Yeah. But I always just thought there's something better, and boxing saved my life. Boxing was my goal to get an Olympic medal, and then you get a good contract. Yeah. And that was my goal. My goal as a 15-year-old was Olympic medal of any colour. Yeah. And then turn pro, and never thought I would come to America. I thought I would stay back home somewhere, but I never thought that Eddie Fudge wanted to take a kid like me on either.
What a great
I knew
trainer.
who he was, but when I came here he was 82 years old. Training Riddick Bowe, the heavyweight champ of the world. Mike McCallum was in the gym, 3-time world champion. And I just couldn't believe that he would actually want to take me on. And he took me on and made me a world champion.
And Wayne, for some of the youngsters who might watch this later, you know, who might not know Eddie Futch, but what a great trainer, and that's just two of the names you mentioned, you know.
20 world champions and dozens of top contenders who would have been world champion probably today, and he did an interview on TV one time, and he rated me in the top 5. You know, that I was took back from that, you know, Joe Frazier, you know, Ken Norton, Leon Spinks, 3 guys who beat Ali, and Ali revenged the laws. But you know, Riddick Bowe, Mike McCallum, Montel Griffin, who got a win over Roy Jones, and me, and then they had other guys.
Wow.
Way back, you know. So that's names like that, and put me in the top 5. I was gobsmacked.
Wayne, I just want to actually say, even on camera, huge respect to you, not just for your silver medal in the Olympics, in the 1992 Olympics, but also for your world title. So even as a fan, huge respect to you. You mentioned obviously you didn't think you'd come out to the US. Obviously you came out here to train with Eddie Futch. How long ago was that now?
That was back in 1993.
Wow.
I arrived, you know, the contract was signed in 92 to go with Eddie and with my promoter at the time as well. And I had to come and be based in Las Vegas. I didn't want to leave because I was a home bird.
Yeah.
I traveled the world as an amateur and didn't want to leave, but I thought, you know, it's only for a couple of years. And then going to Eddie Futch, I'm going to the Premier League, you know what I mean?
100%.
And there's no way you could turn that down. So I arrived, I flew on the 20th of February 1983, arrived in LA, and I fought in Reseda, which is in California here. Yeah. Three days later, my pro debut. Wow. And I knocked the guy out in like 4 rounds. And then I flew to Vegas the next day and started training in Vegas. And I stayed pretty regular. My fights, I had 7 fights in 15 weeks.
Wow.
So I stayed pretty active, don't I?
Yeah, back in the day too, it wasn't easy. I suppose to comparing him at today's level, for any of the youngsters who are thinking, you know, again, Eddie Futch, who's a huge legend, is probably somebody like Ismail Salas, who's trained about 19 world champions. So, you know, just to compare him.
You know, I say he's the best trainer of all time, and people, they won't dispute it, they'll say top 2 anyway at least. Yeah. So it's not like you have to say he's not the best. Just what he taught me in boxing was unbelievable. What he taught me in life, because you sat down, I guess, between fights and talked, and you know, you went to fights, you're sitting for dinner and breakfast, and you sit and chat about. Eddie talked about the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Right. Yeah.
When he sparred with Joe Louis, the guy's to my side, but he sparred with Joe Louis for speed.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. And he compared me to my favorite fighter of all time, Henry Armstrong. He won 3 belts, you know what I mean, when there was 8 world champions. And he compared me to him. So I'm like, the knowledge he just gave you is unbelievable.
In terms of your own, not your style, but your overall, you know, when you came over here, what did he actually, you feel that he added extra to your style, fight game, whatever you like to call it?
The one thing Eddie said to me was he wasn't going to change my style. He was going to fix it, perfect it. He had Riddick Bowe the same, Mike McCallum, Montel Griffin and me, and we all had different styles. And he trained us all individually, but defensive stuff was what he taught me.
Yeah.
You know, and relaxing my shoulders, but he got me the defense and the cross guard like that and stuff. You know, that's the old school. You block the gates and stuff like that, and be small. And a lot of my fights, when I was coming up, you know, the commentator would say I was getting hit. I did get hit. I know. I'm not going to lie about that. I had a good chin, but Eddie told you how to roll the shot and stuff, or take the impact of it.
Yeah.
And the commentators can't see that. And Eddie was joking, saying he didn't get hit as much as they said he did. And I used to have that smile. You know, he's not getting hit the way everybody said he is. Yeah. But he's doing this and doing this and doing this, and the punch grazes off. And I just thought, well, but he's right about that. But he taught me all that stuff, and he didn't change my style at all. Just he perfected it and made it better. And I'd say he made me into a pro. He turned me from amateur to a pro.
Okay.
And
so just fine-tuned.
But he did my style of non-stop punching. He didn't change that.
Yeah.
And that was my money, you know what I mean? But go non-stop, break your heart, break your heart, break your heart. But he got me to sit down more on my punches and hit harder as well, which I did, because my first 12 fights were against mostly Mexicans, and I knocked 11 guys out, so I did okay.
Exactly. And as you said, fine-tuned your style as well, and you know, that's just the fundamentals there, isn't it? To hit and not get hit.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. If you get hit, you got to be able to take a shot.
Definitely.
But if a guy throws 4 shots, he should hit you with 1.
Yeah.
If he hits you with 3, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so Eddie did that with me, and I say with the whole camp we were in, we were all different, and he didn't. Some trainers train the guy exactly where you fought, and they all end up fighting the same way. We were all different, and the way I teach people today, it's completely different.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to 1995. Forgive my pronunciation. I think it's Yukushiji. You beat.
I couldn't pronounce it either. But his name is Yashui Yakishishi.
Okay, so won the world title, the WBC Bantamweight Championship. Describe that feeling.
You know, going in Japan was just. They went to purse bids, so he was the world champion.
Right.
It was his 5th defense of the belt. So the purse bids they won. The purse bids was like over $3 million. It was unbelievable back then. And so we had to go to Japan. So preparations were done in America. We stopped in Hawaii for a week of preparation, then went to Japan for a week before the fight. I was treated really well in Japan. They treated me really well. I was the underdog, and I wasn't supposed to win.
Yeah.
And I went to Japan and took the belt, and not in the guy's home country, his backyard. It was his own home city, and he never fought again. He was 26 years old, never fought again.
Never fought.
And I would have fought a rematch with him, but I beat him 12 rounds and pulled off a split decision, which should have been unanimous. But he was a great champion, and I took the belt away from him in his backyard and became the first ever WBC champion in Irish history, and still am.
Exactly. Well done.
As I said, the only fighter from Britain or Ireland ever to go to Japan and win a championship ever in the history of any belt.
And you know what, Wayne? So for many people, you know, fans or professionals in the game, that's probably one of the pinnacles. You know, you could say being the pinnacle is a world champion, but to actually go into somebody's backyard and win it as well.
Yes, to do something that somebody didn't do was. I didn't even know at the time. I didn't know until Randall Munro fought for the world championship a few years back.
Yeah.
He went to Japan and said he was trying to become the second person, and I didn't. I said I didn't even know I was the only guy from Ireland or Britain ever to go to Japan, and to do something different like that was I didn't even know it until I'd say a few years back.
I know there's a couple of Irish fighters that I quite admire and like watching today's. So you got Carl Frampton, Ryan Burnett.
Two good guys. No, I met Carl about 5 years ago. I had coffee with him in Belfast.
Yeah.
I was his hero. And Ryan Burnett, I'm in touch with him. I've never met the kid, but I'm on social media with him.
Yeah.
You know, and great guys.
Done well, hasn't he? At a young age, he's a unified champion in his division.
Ryan Burnett works. He's a hard worker.
Definitely. Doing well under Adam Booth.
Well, they're hard workers, you know. I reached out before about training people, but it didn't happen. But.
You mentioned about obviously fighting in Tokyo. Something springs to my mind. You've obviously fought all over the world: London, New York, Ireland, Vegas. Anyway, in particular, you that was your favourite place to fight?
I said in the amateurs, I fought in Australia, New Zealand.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I fought in South Korea. Japan was a great place to experience. I fought all around Europe. I fought England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. I fought all around America as well as an amateur. And I don't know where I like New Zealand. New Zealand was a beautiful country. Australia was nice, and but Japan was really. They treated me well.
Yeah.
Being the foreign guy coming over, they actually treated me. And when I won, they get respect, and they. I remember at the airport on the way home, there was these bunch of Boy Scouts who were all Japanese, and they just wanted to get a picture with me.
Yeah.
And that was like, wow, that's respect. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a respectful country, and they say they treat me well, and I think I would like to go back there someday.
Funny enough, I was talking to a guy recently. He's in the U.S. Armed Forces, and he was based in Japan for a long time, and he said they're a very, very respectable population community.
They respect you when you beat their guy. They respect you. No hard feelings.
Yeah.
And I say I had a great time over there, and they treated me well.
Out of the current fighters, mate, say it's up to you, top 3, top 5. Who do you think are the top 3 or 5 in the world today? For you, say.
He's float off the scene now because he's officially retired yet.
Yeah.
No, you get Lomachenko's up there, you know what I mean? After Rigondeaux was disappointing, but I think Rigondeaux wasn't used to the pressure. You know, Lomachenko's up there. Andy Ward, he was there. He was for a short period of time the best fighter, and then he retires. You know what I mean? So it's tough.
What about Linares? Because you met.
I know
he was in the
Linares
gym
well.
with me.
He's up there, he's fighting soon. He's up there. It's hard to say he's the number one guy at the minute, you know what I mean? So it's hard to say he's the.
We got Golovkin, Canelo.
Yeah, and you get up there, you can put, like, you got Wilder and Josh, you know, could be up there considered too, you know what I mean? So it's the top three could be debatable around, where when Floyd was around, it was like, no question.
Yeah. And to be honest, talking about Linares, when I interviewed him last week, he actually said, and it could be any one of those three as well. He said that in 2018 he wants to fight Lomachenko and or Marky Garcia.
This is my dream fight.
God.
You're the first to hear it.
Exclusive,
Well,
guys.
it probably never happened, but you know what? Floyd Mayweather was a lightweight champion back in the day, and he's my size.
I thought you were going to give me exclusive,
Listen,
like he's coming out of retirement. Yeah.
Floyd walks around at 147. It's a fight weight.
Definitely.
He could drop to 135 easily. Listen to this now. From my lips, Lomachenko goes to 135. Floyd goes to 135.
Yeah.
Think about that. They're the same size.
One of the guys did say exactly that.
Floyd Mayweather for Lomachenko. Why not?
Yeah. One of the guys in the gym, Floyd's gym, did actually say to me that you're right on the money there. He said Floyd, even before the McGregor fight, he was walking around about 142, 143.
He could
So
make
he said,
135 easily.
Yeah,
he had to fight at 140, the opportunity to fight the De La Hoya and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why not go up? But imagine it's a younger guy, pound for pound, probably the best, and then Floyd. Why not?
why not?
That would generate another $1 billion for Floyd.
That's probably a fantasy fight that won't happen, but I totally agree with it.
There's me. I can still fight tomorrow.
You can get in there, mate. And you
But
deserve
I
it.
can guarantee you,
Big payday.
if I come back tomorrow, I never officially retired. I never had calls when I was gone. That I can guarantee you nobody would fight me, and I can guarantee you certain people, even if it was back home, we could be a big massive draw, would make some excuse of it. You know what? What's the excuse? I'm 47 years old, never been knocked out before, never been on the canvas, and I could fight again.
On a serious note though, champ, Pocket Rocket, would you?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, I never officially retired. I haven't missed one day at the gym since I haven't fought.
Guys, that could be exclusive, so if you see the champ coming back.
I spar all the time. I train. I'm in physical shape. I run. If somebody see my Instagram and New Year's Day, I ran 3,100 miles last year. I ran every single day of the year. I train every day.
Definitely, you're in fit shape.
Now the excuses are coming up. People are starting making excuses. People say you're too old. Hopkins was 51 years old when he fought last. He was 50 years old when he became champion of the world again.
Yeah. Well, was it last
If
year?
you go away from the gym and lose it, if you go away and don't work out again, I don't miss the gym.
It was last year, wasn't it? Bernard Hopkins when he fought Joe Smith Jr.
Sammy, jump in. Train this guy in a minute.
Just a quick one for you.
No, I'm not saying I'm coming back, but I'm not saying I didn't retire either. Would I fight anybody? Yeah.
Why not?
I would come out and fight for a belt tomorrow, no problem. I can guarantee that the WBC would allow me to fight for their belt.
That's a true champion for you guys. They'll fight anybody. On your own CV, resume, whatever you want to call it, Scott Harrison, Morales, Zaragoza, Ahmed. Who's the best fighter in your opinion?
This was debatable on people on like Twitter a few years back. They said he was the hardest puncher, and I said pound for pound for 12 rounds, Eric Morales. And they all said, you're wrong, Ahmed is. And I'm thinking, I took the punching.
Absolutely.
There's different. Ahmed had physical, the punch, like, he can hit hard. There's no question about it. He knocked out 18 guys in a row.
Yeah, unorthodox and everything.
But the difference was, you're talking about stinging punches for 12 rounds. Morales, for the first round to the last round, had that Tommy Hearn like boom, shock feature down your spine. And he was a harder hitter. I'm not saying Ahmed can't punch.
Yeah.
Scott Harrison was the strongest physically. The bigger man physically, he definitely physically the strongest. There's no question about that. But Ahmed was I can see his punches coming more or less. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where Morales is more like bump down the middle. Yeah. Ahmed was more loop. And he hit me with shots, but I hit him too.
Yeah.
But let's say the people who said I was wrong, why don't they jump in the ring with Hamed? But they might today, of course. But step in. Hamed was strong, but Morales hit harder. The difference in the punch speed, like boom.
Different styles.
Yeah, Hamed was a big puncher, of course.
Of course he was.
Harrison's a big puncher, and Morales, but.
And Shane probably could have achieved a lot more.
Morales was the guy had that stinging. He put a shock down your spine every time he hit you. Boom!
Yeah.
That's why I pushed him back like crazy, man.
Quickly, while we're on Ahmed, I've seen this debated by many others. He says himself that if he had trained as he can train,
He said to Hamed.
yeah, he said he would have beaten Barrera, and obviously Barrera's
I've reached out to Hamed a long time ago. I actually, when he had that one fight, he came back and he looked
and then he
terrible.
retired, didn't he?
I offered to train him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've offered to train a lot of people who, and I say, I was probably, if you look at my whole career, I was probably the best conditioned athlete there was. I was always in shape. As an amateur, I was always working out, training.
Yeah.
As a pro, I was like Floyd. I'm like Floyd. I was train.
Yeah.
And I was top Eddie. So, but people don't give you that opportunity. And as I said, I'm not run any trainers down. But you see a trainer who's never had the experience, and people go to them. And sometimes you just feel like saying, what's the point in even staying in the sport?
Yeah.
But it's like in the media industry too, same thing.
Definitely.
But no, I reached out to Ahmed, and I reached out to a lot of guys, and you know, I would train them, no problem. But I say,
Okay. Wayne, before
thank you very
I let you go
much.
off,
Thank you, people back home.
I was just going to
If
say,
you're still fans of mine out there, please. Thank you very much.
hit him up. Come and see me in Santa Monica, guys. Wayne, it's been a real privilege to see you today, champ, and
very much.
wishing you all the best for the future.
Thanks very much.
Take care.